and developers are actually looking at Microsoft and Xbox as a viable option. And for him to say that, he remembers those good games and those games that we are asking for sequels to.
Machine called a dimensional something, and if you turn it on, which is just a button, you can put 30 encounters into the machine, so you don't even have to do the random encounters when you don't want to. And then what ends up happening is when you do them, you have to go to the dimensional realm, and you fight all the encounters at once.
I mean, a lot of people I know, to Addict's credit, was really 360 was really appealing to them because of the diversity of titles in games like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. And you want to continue that flavor. We like what they're doing in Japan these days. I like the king is coming around. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast. Last topic, and you want to just combine this, Drake? Just get this over with? Just rock out? All right, cool.
Yeah.
King, this is you, man. The pappy of Final Fantasy had some comments. Shout out to Famitsu. Yeah, man, it's the CEO, Vince Walker, creator of the Final Fantasy series. He worked on many titles: Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Last Story, Terra Battle, Sakaguchi-san outside, and now with the original version of Fantasian. Now I believe Addict is playing that, and he had a lot to say, man. One of the key quotes, obviously, he talked about Fantasian a lot, but one of the quotes I think King is focuses on is that on Xbox, and he said as far as Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, he said he was making it, and he was sent a good feeling that he was back on the Xbox again. And, also he said he was happy to see able to launch on Nintendo Switch, which is Nintendo's hard work. He said after all, Nintendo's the one who made him a creator. And, of course, the PlayStation, he says really small, Final Fantasy 7, he said remembers the time. So a lot of reflections, but, thoughts of the good old days.
Yep. And the best thing I saw was, Square is publishing it, right? Mm-hmm. So, him returning there, and also launching on Xbox at the same time. I think that's key because he made a special note of that, we did great things in the past, type of things. And it feels like, coming back home and, coming home to Square as well. But he made a special note to say that about Xbox. And I think that's Square's edict across the company internally and for games that they are publishing through that they don't actually make themselves, but they actually publish it. I think that reverberation and that tip of the hat lets you know that Square is kind of on board with everything that's happening over there. And I think the Japanese or the Eastern fan base and developers are actually looking at Microsoft and Xbox as a viable option. And for him to say that, he remembers those good games and those games that we are asking for sequels to, you never know. You never know, because you don't just mention things just to mention things. And far be it, I think he would talk more about Square and less about Xbox. But the fact that he did bring up Xbox, it kind of made me smile, because it made me look at those games and know that it was a moment in time where Xbox was, pushing very hard in Japan. And to see they re-engage, if you will, this year with the Tokyo Game Show. I bet a lot of those were games that I played already.
I like that you're coming around. I like that.
I could do this all day.
I like when you talk like that.
Listen, unlike C, I could do this all day.
Stupid.
But honestly, Attic is playing the game. I want to know how he likes the game, and I wanted him to compare it to Metaphor, because I don't know the logistics of the game. Actually, I just saw. Damn, I thought it was like a I thought it was a conjunction to the game, to be honest with you, because it looked like the artwork and stuff like that looked kind of similar. So I wanted to know what Attic felt about the game and what did he think about the words that was said. And there's a possibility that we can get Blue Dragon and a couple of other Miss Walker games back on Xbox, or a remasters of the originals. I'll take that.
Okay, Attic, what's your thoughts? You're currently playing Fantasian.
Yeah, I got about 10 hours into it.
Nice.
Probably closer to like 13 or 14. I think it's a great game so far. They have a lot of unique things. They went back to random encounters as a turn base. The interesting part is how they're handling it is you have a machine called a dimensional something.
Right.
And if you turn it on, which is just a button, you can put 30 encounters into the machine. So you don't even have to do the random encounters when you don't want to. And then what ends up happening is when you do them, you have to go to the dimensional realm and you fight all the encounters at once. So I like that because it gives like a really unique thing to it where it's like they're going 5 or 6 times before you go once. Do you let it get full? Because when it's full, you have to fight them eventually.
Right.
Do you want to make sure, you don't fill up too much and, you always have the ability to skip random encounters, or do you just wait till that sucker's full and then fight them all at the same time? And some of the fights can be rough depending on, who you're taking in that dimensional item. I feel like so I did go back and I looked at what was changed. There was a lot of stuff dramatically changed from the mobile version to the console version. The whole game was not voice acted. Looks like they did voice act all the game, and it wasn't voice act on console.
So it was a mobile game before it was a console.
Yes, it was. Okay. It was exclusively on the Apple Play Store, whatever it was called. It's been there since like 2021 or something like that. So kudos to them, man. They put a lot of work into it. I do think the biggest issue I have with the game is it didn't really convert well to controller from touchscreen. Sometimes when you're switching frames, you'll be going up, but it's kind of like the old Resident Evils, the fixed frames. Because what they did is they made clay. They made all the towns out of clay, and they highly scanned them. So I don't know if it was clay, but they made essentially, duplicates of these in real life. So like, let's say you have one scene that's like looking panning out, and then when you go left to the other scene, it pans right. So obviously, if you're like panning right, and you were going left to get on this, but now you need to go down. Technically, you're looking up,
but they don't your sense of direction.
Yeah, they don't adjust it.
Right, I
to
got
the changing.
Yeah, I know. What
so a lot of the times I'm finding myself like stopping entirely on moving and
adjusting
like
to the camera,
falling back, and then readjusting from whatever camera I'm
like
currently
that
on.
old school Resident Evil 1 joint when you switch perspective from room to room because the camera angles change. I got you.
So essentially, that's the biggest issue I have with the game. It's clearly a game that was on mobile. If this game was built from the ground up on console, if he would have got, maybe money or time to build this game efficiently from the ground up, new cutscenes, new UI, I think we could be looking at like a Game of the Year contender. Because it does clearly show this was a mobile game. They built up from the ground up to look good. It's got 4K. They put some new voice acting, but at the core, this game was made for mobile,
right?
And it's clearly seen. This is the same company that gave us Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon. I'm playing this and I'm like, I don't care who gives this man a bag. Like, let someone give him money to make one more AAA product. I don't care if it's PlayStation, Switch. I don't care. Someone give this man money.
Do you think that was his goal when he said about the Xbox stuff?
No, I think he's generally grateful to be on Xbox because Xbox was there for him when he left PlayStation. When he left the PlayStation ecosystem, it's up until this Neo space game, Dimensional Neo something, I can't remember the full name. Up until this game, in my recollection, and maybe someone in the chat can correct me, he hasn't published one game for PlayStation. Blue Dragon, Xbox only. Odyssey, Xbox only. Lost the last story, Nintendo. He hasn't been on PlayStation since he left Square Enix back. Well, I think it was technically Square at the time.
Yeah.
But so I think he's generally grateful to Xbox because they funded his studio for years.
It's the Peter Moore days.
Yeah, so it's just like, look, like someone give this man a bag. You know, he getting up there in age. He gonna be retiring soon, man.
I think I got this sense though. I think Maddie mentioned this to me because I said the same thing you said at it. I think Maddie kind of alluded that like he's kind of done. Like he doesn't really like.
I don't think that.
Okay.
I think if he was done, he would be done. There's a reason he put games on consoles. Because this game's 2021. Now he decides he's going to put this on console. There's clearly something happening behind the scenes. I don't know if he's going to do another game, but he went from mobile to this to now he's wanting his games on console for some reason. It's like he's showing the industry, I still got it. Give me a budget. That's my opinion. But Nambu is done. He's the producer of the composer of all the original Final Fantasy 1 through 10. He did say he's retiring after this game. He will no longer be the head honcho on any game from here going forward. Okay. But I do feel like if this man is willing to make another game, you can literally have a metaphor. Now, as far as this game doesn't touch metaphor in any way, shape, or form. It don't matter. Right. Turn-based, it doesn't touch it. Music, it doesn't touch it. Story, as of right now, it does seem like it has a good story. I'm not far enough to really know anything, but I can almost tell you I don't think it's going to meet its story. But here's the thing. I don't compare it because I know Metaphor was built from the ground up to appeal to a AAA audience. Yeah. This game really wasn't.
Yes, now, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, this is kind of like a mobile joint, right? Let's be real.
If this game was built now, I think it's like 60, 70. I think that's too high. That's the Square Enix effect. I feel like that game should have been $30 and it would have sold more than being at 60, 70.
Oh, I hate the 60, 70. Damn, I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah, someone in the chat, what is it? I don't think it's 70. I do think it's 60. So it's just like, look, man, like, game's good. It is. And it reminds me of old Final Fantasies. You clearly got the inspirations to like some of the stories. Clearly stuff's going on behind closed scenes. There's like two realms and you know something's in the other realm and I don't know what it is. Like it's gauging my interest. It's just I wish they would have built it from the ground up to be in this.
No doubt, fair enough. Hargeet, man, the father of Final Fantasy outside. What's your thoughts? Reminiscing about the good old days.
Yeah. So, by the way, it's 50. And
50.
He is.
That's
62.
still too much.
Oh, 62. Yeah, he's up there. Yeah.
So he could still do something, right? You know, that doesn't mean he's done. Yeah, I think the fact that he's sort of like talking about the Xbox partnership and of course the Nintendo partnership, you know. It's good from a Square perspective. We know they're kind of going into this like, hey, we are not going to be locking ourselves down,
right?
And he's saying the same thing. Hey, I'm happy to be on everything, which is great. As far as like giving him a bag to do something, this is the part where it becomes challenging. Like up to now, you know, Square has been like just trying to make something work, right. And it's not been easy going for them. Perhaps something from him would work, maybe, right? And the question is budget. Yes. This is one where I think and we don't know if there's stuff in the works already. There probably is stuff going on in the background where Game Pass becomes a very interesting play. You know, they've done it before with Lost Odyssey. They've done it before with Blue Dragon. Could they work another deal here? New IP, same thing, like sequel, whatever, right? Whatever he wants to do, and allow it to go into Game Pass, which would fund it. Is that a possibility? Yes, 100% it is a possibility. And look, it's an area that Xbox is desperate to try to get more content and more relevancy, right? So why wouldn't they if they could potentially make something happen with, you know, and both of those, Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, had very good ratings. They were very good, you know, well received critically. I don't know about as far as sales, but critically they were well received. And now they have this opportunity with Game Pass to say it's not relevant what the sales are, it's relevant what the engagement is. And if we can drive that engagement with Japanese content from somebody who's a pioneer in this area, why not, right? Look, I think to what Addict was saying is this is like a call out, right, to see if we can get a bag for a AAA, budget from somebody. I do see
AAA,
potential.
AA, I'd be happy with just something more than mobile.
Yeah, and there is a very good potential there as a partnership, which I mean, I hope they're already doing that in the background. It would be like stupid not to, but if nothing else at this point, maybe from this they listen and they will do something out there as far as Xbox. No, that could also be Nintendo. It could be somebody else. But look, the sales are a problem, right? And if they want that large budget, they have to guarantee sales. This is just the beauty of freaking Game Pass. It's just so good. You don't have to worry about that specific piece of it. You get the engagement, and that drives the budget. You have it. So
And
that is
there was
cool
something I
thing.
forgot to say. The soundtrack, you can change it to like a variety of Final Fantasy games. Like you could change it to Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, Remake, Pixel Collection. You can even change it to the Final Fantasy 16 soundtrack.
That's crazy. That's sick. Yeah, like you good, Augie? I was gonna jump in unless you got your bars off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know too much more. I mean, that's basically it. Like he's obviously recognizing that we need to be everywhere, right? And Xbox is a tour de force at this point. You just cannot deny them. Nintendo's always been there. They're the granddaddies, right? So it's good to be everywhere. PlayStation still got its place. It's fine. It's great. And the potential here to potentially make something with a Game Pass bag, I think is just it's a good potential for Xbox and for him, right? So why not, right? Why not partner up and make it happen?
That's if he's willing.
Yeah, if he's willing. You got. I mean, look,
exactly.
I agree with both of you guys. Augie, at the end of the day, you got to kick the ties, right? Just to see if the man still has the creative juices in him. He wants to do anything. Obviously, I love the fact that, like King said, he spoke glowingly of that time. And, a lot of people I know, to Addict's credit, was really, 360 was really appealing to them because of the diversity of titles in games like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. And, you want to continue that flavor. We like what they're doing in Japan these days. I like that King is coming around on TGS and all that good stuff. I like that. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, why not? Why not, take his temperature to say, yo, what's going on? If you're interested, Game Pass is an option for you and stuff like that. And I do like even though it's a mobile game, it's probably not my speed, I do like the original ideas when Addict starts talking about ingenuity in the space as far as turn-based and new things that shows he still got those chops. He still got it. When I hear stuff like, hey, you can avoid, the battles, but then again later they can, all jump you or pile up on you depending on how you want to handle it. Again, I like that innovation. So salute to him, man. Really cool legend in the space and, see what he does next. But I do like that. And to your point, Hargeet, yes, looks like Square is out of the mercenary ways and it's about making money. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what companies want to do. They're not, at least definitely Square. They're like, hey, we're going to get more definitely revved up on other platforms.
Yeah, can't be making these titles that don't sell.
Yeah. I know. To your point, I get where you're going. You know what I'm saying? That they them exclusive, the money hat bag sometimes ain't hitting.
As long as Square get where I'm going.
Foam Stars just failed, right? That's gonna be dying.
Yeah, Foam Stars just failed.
Just put it in Game Pass. We'll help you out.
Right? That was another one. I don't know if there's so many of them that just don't seem.
Babylon Ball, I think.
What's that other the action game that had that flopped as well?
Oh, Final Fantasy Rebirth.
No.
Oh, what was it? Final Fantasy 16.
What action game?
Well, that did okay, but you're right. That didn't.
It ain't do okay.
What, Forspoken? Which one?
Forspoken.
Oh, yeah,
Forspoken.
the one where she was from the Bronx, but sounded like she was from Queens.
Yeah, you stupid. Hey, let's get King out of here. He being too messy. But that's all I got